Welcome to the Witchy Work Wishes podcast, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. Welcome to Witchy Work Wishes, and guess what? It's Yule! We are finally here. This is my most favorite time of the year, and I found, you guys, oh my gosh, the best Celtic, Norse music for our Christmas and Yule celebration. So listen to this. Here we go. I've been playing this album over and over and over again, and I just love it. Let me see, what is it? It's I think it's called Lindsay Sterling, Snow Waltz. But anyways, if you have any Celtic, Irish, Scottish, just Norse blood in you, this will probably speak to your soul like it does to mine. Anyways, I'm having lots of fun. I'm knee deep into this holiday season. I do want to do a quick shout out real fast to the Witchy Work Wishes Patreon group. I do know we've had some who have joined as free members recently, and I'm super excited you guys are here. But I do want to do a specific shout out and welcome to Annie, who joined one of the Witchy levels. I'm really happy that everybody is there and we're getting some good energy and momentum. If you have not been over to Patreon yet, just search for Witchy Work Wishes. The December card pull is up and posted. The journal worksheet to go with it just went up this past weekend. It'll have the December spell that complements the card, and the journal work prompt worksheet posted this coming Sunday. And then some fun stuff, of course, some additional fun stuff for the top tier group towards the end of December. All right, do you guys ever have one of your decks called you? I didn't hear my name, but it was such a pull, almost like the deck it missed me and wanted me to take it out and work with it. So I did. It was my Crow tarot deck that was calling to me to touch it and shuffle it and work with its amazing energy. And it's been a while since I have gone to it, a long while. So I think I was just long overdue and my deck knew it. So I held the cards for a bit. I let them warm up in my hands before shuffling and asking my question. I didn't really have a big question to ask. I just wanted some direction for the week ahead. So I drew the 9 of Wands, and I am by no means well-versed in tarot, by no means. When I use my decks, both tarot and oracle, I rely heavily on the descriptions in the books. But over time, I'm getting better. I'm getting a little bit more versed and growing a deeper understanding of the cards and their general meanings. So I know we've got our elements. We've got our 4 elements. If we draw anything that has a wand on it, it is going to be working with the fire element. This is how we channel our energy and take action. It's about passion, creativity, ambition, inspiration, willpower, and growth. If we ever draw anything that has a cup on it, this is our water element. This is going to be how we feel, we connect emotionally. It's about our relationships, our intuition, healing, love, our feelings, our connections, and our spirituality. If we pull a card that has a sword on it, this is going to be working with the air element. This is going to focus on how we think and communicate, how we want and seek truth, maybe some conflict, how we deal with that, clarity, logic, decisions, challenges, but basically the communication element of things. And then if we draw a card that has a pentacle on it, this is going to be working with the earth element. It's how we manifest and create our own stability. It's things that are with the material world, right? Our prosperity, our health. It can possibly work with, finances, home, our physical well-being, and our workplace environment. All right, so we've got those 4 elements, right? Then we need to think about the numbers, because numerology plays a big role in our tarot decks. Each number represents a theme or energy. And then when combined with the suit, right, and the corresponding element, that's where the card's meaning becomes more specific to us. So aces, number 1, this is about beginning, potential, inspiration. It's going to represent pure energy and, like a seed that is planted and wanting to grow. 2s are going to be about balance, duality, decision, partnerships maybe. 3s are about growth and creativity and expansion. Pulling a 4 is going to be something with maybe stability, foundation, some structure. 5s tend to, I think, lean towards conflict, a little bit of change or some challenges, some type of a pivotal moment, right, where we can invite growth, right? Change isn't always bad. 6s are about like harmony and resolution, adjustment. 7s tend to, I think, pull towards like reflection, analysis maybe, and spirituality for sure. 8s, those are going to be all about power, movement, mastery, something that's going to represent like some type of momentum, strength, and like the cycles of growth. 9s are all about fulfillment, the attainment, that sense of nearing completion, wisdom, or maybe some type of satisfaction. And then 10s, I think numerology always kind of tries to go down to a single digit. So 10 is going to be completion, renewal, transformation. It's the end of a cycle, paving the way for like that new beginning, right? Linking it right back to the number 1, to the ace. But then we've got those major cards in our decks. I believe they also have numbers. Wait, do they all have numbers? I'm not sure about the full. The full might not have a number. But anyways, they all have numbers too, that I believe is kind of like, the beginning to the end phase. So the major cards somehow represent like our journey through life, if I'm saying it correctly. Oh my gosh, somebody's listening to this and being like, girl, you're not on track. Hopefully I'm not steering you guys the wrong way. I think the major cards are supposed to be like our journey through life. The challenges that we encounter, the lessons, and the growth. So the first 7 are going to be like our physical world, our physical realm. They focus on like our individual identity and kind of like our basis, our foundation. So we've got the Fool, which is about new beginnings, right? Potential. The Magician, which is about, I think, manifestation, willpower, maybe getting a little resourceful. The High Priestess is about intuition, mystery, and our subconscious. The Empress is, I think, the 3rd card, the number 3. This one's about nurturing, abundance, creativity, definite feminine card. Number 4 is the Emperor. This is about authority, structure, stability. This is a more masculine card. The Hierophant, that is about tradition, our spiritual guidance, our societal norms. We've got the Lovers. That's, of course, about love and harmony, our choices, our relationships. We've got, what's next? The Chariot. This is like our willpower, determination, our success through, some type of control. And then the second set of 7 deals more like with the emotional or inner realm, like our personal growth, our inner challenges, and our emotional mastery of sorts. You've got the Strength card. This is number 8. This is about courage, patience, inner power. The Hermit is number 9. Solitude, introspection, spiritual seeking, maybe. I think 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. This is about our cycles, our destiny, some changes, maybe luck that comes into our life. 11 is the Justice card. This is about truth, fairness, accountability, and our balance. We've got the Hangman, which is the 12th one, 12th card. This is about surrender, new perspectives, patience for sure. The Death card is number 13. This one is about transformation, endings, and new beginnings. And then the last card with the major cards is the Temperance card, about balance, moderation, harmony, and maybe some healing. Anyway, I don't mean to make this intro about tarot, but I think that's the core. There's a lot we can take from that, but hopefully I did it right, and that's like the core of our decks. What I did hear recently on a podcast that I was listening to about tarot was that we should sit with a card's image for a bit and look at the artwork of the card that we drew. So much about our practices ties into our own intuition. Back to that trust your gut statement, right? But it's true. And the guidance we get, especially when it's coming from a deck that we've formed, a connection to, Well, I think it's about letting our intuition speak up just as much as it is about reading what the card says in the description. So I drew the Nine of Wands. Right away, I know I'm working with the fire element because it is in the wand suit. So there's something about taking action here. I know that since it's the number 9, I am working in the area of fulfillment, attainment maybe, coming to a time of near completion, some gained wisdom or satisfaction. But then as I look at the image of the card, there's a crow with 8 of her wands in order, like they're perfectly lined up. But she's holding the 9th wand in her beak, almost like, hey, this is the last step. It's a beautiful card. There's a full sun glowing at the top of the card, but you know what else I see kind of hidden in the artwork? 2 deer. If I turn the card upside down, I see them. So the description on the card itself reads like this. It says, after much effort, a final task is almost complete. The 9 of Wands denotes a struggle in finishing a project, and despite the consistent success of the past, there is one last obstacle that needs to be accomplished before moving forward. The 9 of Wands offers encouragement to keep going, taking a moment to bask in all that you have already created. It is from this place that you will find motivation to continue. You are close to the end. This is not the time to give up after working so hard. Replace the negative feelings or resentment with an open mind and visualize a successful completion. Well, I kind of asked a general question about the week ahead and what I needed to focus on, thinking more of things in like my personal life. But I really do think this card is work related too, helping me focus on what needs to be done at the office. There is a specific project that I have struggled with these past 3 weeks. It was honestly, you guys, a really big hit to the company. But I've also been working hard to get things back in order, and it does feel like I'm close. I have definitely come up with a plan B, just in case I can't fix it, but this card guides me to believe that the plan B might not be needed. To keep working hard and get that last wand in order, just like the other 8 already are. And after seeing the 2 deer, one of which is a stag, that brought me right back to my vivid Hecate dream that was full of power. So, okay, Dak, I hear you. I do think I can tie it to my personal life as well, though. My boys are coming home on Thursday, and I have all of my holiday shopping done, but not wrapped. We know that there's a big difference with that one. I do have one thing left for the boys, which is their calendars, that I need to get little gifts added to, and just some final touches to make this holiday special for everyone. So I don't know. It could be something there too. I want to be able to spend as much time with my boys when they come home. So having things complete and ready for Yule and Christmas now is crucial for me buying time later to be with them. So 2 very specific ways this card pull was or is right for me, right now. I'm honestly taking the guidance in both directions, work and personal. I know my boys are heavily tied to this deck and my animal oracle deck, so I don't know, maybe it knows. Maybe it knows they are almost home and it's time to be front and center again to do some work. Either way, I'm honestly really happy about the personal card pull I got with the 9 of Wands. Now, I do want to have a whole episode sometime next year about working with tarot decks. I do need to bring someone in who is well-versed to help me, but I think it would be a fun episode for all of us to have so we can kind of bring it up a level, right, in our own practices. The other thing I did this past weekend, besides all of the holiday wrap-up stuff that I needed to do, was make a Yule candle. I did make some other gifts in this area too, but since family ears are listening, well, I will talk about this project in detail after Christmas gifts have been opened. This is, though, the first time I have done this specific type of task, the act of candle making, but I was motivated by some old candles that had, hollowed out. When they burn down and they don't burn evenly on top, so you get this huge hole in the middle with these tall walls. Anyways, I took 3 of those candles and I melted them down. I grabbed some candle making supplies, and for the Yule candle, I built a single candle back up, the way I wanted it to be. So I'll talk about it more in today's episode later when I'm into the Yule stuff, but oh my goodness, it turned out so good. The gifts turned out perfectly. And for the family Yule candle, well, it's going to be what the boys and I will light. There are actually 3 separate wicks to start our 2024 Yule and Christmas celebrations this year. All right, let's jump into it. Let's talk about Yule. It's a time of the earth right now where the frost is giving us little kisses, right? The nights are longer, and we turn our gaze to Yule, the winter solstice. It's a time of magic, reflection, and renewal. Yule is one of the most ancient festivals, steeped in history, tradition that really does predate many of the modern holidays celebrated today. It's not the oldest, right? That title goes to Samhain, which I believe actually does reign. I'm pretty sure it reigns as the oldest and perhaps the most foundational of the sabbats, since it is rooted in humanity's earliest spiritual practices. But Yule is up there. It is a season of honoring the cycles of nature, the rebirth of the sun, and the enduring power of light in the face of darkness. So let me take you on a journey today through the rich history of Yule and its place in our Witch's Wheel of the Year, along with some fun things we can do to incorporate this beautiful time of the year into our own practices. Long before Yule became associated with contemporary celebrations like Christmas, it was a pagan festival tied to the rhythms of our natural world. Rooted in the traditions of the Norse, Germanic, and Celtic people, Yule marked the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, and the turning point when the sun begins its slow return. Now, the very name Yule is believed to be derived from the Old Norse word Yule, which referred to a midwinter festival honoring the god Odin. Now, for the Norse, Odin was not only the Allfather, but also the bearer of wisdom, of transformation and mystery. And during the Yule season, it was said that Odin led the wild hunt. It's a spectral procession of spirits through the skies that symbolize death, renewal, and the eternal cycles of nature. On Celtic lands, similar solstice celebrations were observed. The Druids, the priestly class of the Celts, they held great reverence for the solstice as a time of deep magic. They celebrated the rebirth of the sun with sacred rituals, including the lighting of fires and the gathering of mistletoe, a plant considered to hold divine energy. At its heart, I believe Yule is a celebration of the triumph of light over darkness. On the longest night of the year, when the world seems, cloaked in shadow, the solstice reminds us that the darkness is not eternal. The sun, though weak and distant right now, is reborn, and its light begins to grow stronger with each passing day. For our ancestors, this return of the sun was a deeply spiritual event, but it also had practical significance. The solstice herald, the eventual arrival of spring, bringing hope, bringing some type of assurance that the harshness of winter would not last forever. Fires were lit, candles were, placed in windows, and evergreen boughs adorned homes to symbolize life and resilience and the promise of brighter days ahead. Now, as a witch, I find this symbolism especially powerful. Yule teaches us that even in the darkest of times, the light within us and, in the universe will always return. It is a reminder to nurture our inner spark, even when it feels small and fragile. All right, many customs that we associate with modern holidays have their roots in ancient Yule traditions. The Yule log, for instance. It is one of the most enduring symbols of this season. And in its earliest form, the Yule log was a large, tree-size piece of wood, often from an oak or an ash tree, that was burned in the hearth or an outside fire pit as an offering to the gods. The ashes were later scattered in fields to ensure fertility and prosperity for the coming year. And you guys can hear my crows. Can you guys hear them? Remember how much, okay, sorry, this is a total side note, but remember at the beginning of my podcast back in 22, how much you could hear Love Bug and all of the crows, my family of crows I had back then. Well, it's taken a little bit of time, but they're coming around at the new spot, and I've got a new pack. I've got a new flock. They're getting a little verbal with me, which is I absolutely love it. Oh, anyways, so hopefully I've got the window open here so you can hear them as they are chiming in to help me with this Yule episode. So let's see. Okay, Yule log. Ashes definitely were scattered into, the fields or, somewhere in our farming history, right, to ensure fertility and that prosperity for the coming year. The evergreen, too. It has a long, long history tied to Yule. Pagans revered evergreens as symbols of life and endurance, decorating them with offerings of fruits and nuts and candles to honor the spirits of the land and the gods. These trees, they served as reminders that even in the dead of winter, life persists. Feasting was another central element of Yule. Communities gathered to share food and drink and stories and strengthen their bonds, all to invoke abundance for, the coming year. Mead, mulled wine, and spiced cakes were common offerings during these celebrations. Now, with the rise of Christianity, many Yule traditions were, absorbed into the celebration of Christmas. The church sought to convert pagan populations by aligning their festivals with existing holy days. So the rebirth of the sun at Yule became associated with the birth of Christ, and many pagan symbols such as the evergreen tree, our wreaths, our candles, they were reinterpreted with a Christian framework. While this blending of traditions helped preserve many Yule customs, the deeper spiritual significance of the solstice, I think, was often lost in the transition. So for witches and modern pagans, reclaiming Yule is definitely a way of reconnecting with its original meaning, a celebration of the cycles of nature and the enduring power of light and life. Now, there's also something called the celebration of Krampus. If you don't know what that is, Krampus is a figure from Alpine folklore known as a dark-horned, often terrifying counterpart to St. Nicholas. So he is deeply tied to pre-Christian winter traditions, casting kind of like a shadowy contrast to the more joyous and light-filled celebrations of Yule and Christmas. So what is Krampus? If I'm saying it right, hopefully I am. So Krampus is depicted as a half-goat, half-demon-like figure with horns, sharp fangs, a long tongue, and cloven hooves. He carries chains, a birch bundle, or some type of sack to punish or capture naughty kids. Now, while St. Nicholas rewarded good children with gifts, Krampus punishes the misbehaved ones. His arrival is typically marked on December 5th, known as Krampus Night, which is the evening before the Feast of St. Nicholas on December 6th. Now, Krampus is thought to originate from pre-Christian Alpine traditions where he may have been a fertility spirit, maybe even a nature spirit, but one that's associated with the wild hunt and also Perschenlauf, which is a parade involving spirits. His imagery and role suggest ties to Norse mythology and the god Pan. His dark, primal energy really does align with Yule's deeper themes of confronting shadow, surviving the darkness, and, preparing for the return of light. So Yule celebrates the balance of dark and light as the wheel of the year turns. And Krampus embodies the darker, more chaotic forces of winter, while St. Nicholas, or the Yule Father, symbolizes warmth, order, and giving. Now, this duality reflects ancient traditions of honoring both the light and the shadow aspects of our life, ensuring balance, which I really, really love. Now, the Krampuslauf, which is a Krampus run, still is celebrated in parts of Austria, Germany, and some of their neighboring regions. It involves people dressing as Krampus and parading through towns, sometimes playfully punishing onlookers. But these rituals likely echo the older Yule customs of banishing evil spirits or invoking protective energies. Now, in recent years, I think Krampus has gained popularity worldwide as part of Christmas and Yule festivities. He appeals to those of us exploring the darker, wilder sides of our winter traditions and embracing the balance of light and shadow. And if this type of energy calls to you, I do have some suggestions. Oh my goodness, everybody is chiming in today. I've got the crows and my dog. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So, if this appeals to you like it does to me, I pulled some suggestions and some ideas of incorporating the Krampus celebration into our Yule of 2024. First one's going to be to host a shadow revelry with, a Krampus energy. So here we can decorate our space with Krampus-inspired themes, like dark reds, blacks, goat horns, and symbols of winter. Invite friends, family, your loved ones to reflect on their shadow side. Maybe some negative habits, fears, challenges for sure, but what they need to look on for their personal growth. And then write these traits or behaviors on slips of paper, offer them to Krampus by burning them in your fire pit, your holiday Yule fire. Or, if you have a cauldron, whatever you need to do, some fireproof bowl. This is going to represent, releasing what no longer serves you. I think this is going to tie greatly to the Yule theme of renewal, clearing out that space for the return of light, much like Krampus clearing away negativity. Second one would be to do some type of Krampus protection charm. Here, I think we can craft some type of bag or ornament inspired by Krampus, something that includes protective and banishing herbs, maybe. We could use cedar, juniper, black salt, clove or cinnamon for sure. Bring that energy and warmth of Yule in. Add small token or carving of Krampus or draw his symbol on the charm. And then charge it with the intent of protecting your home from harmful energies or bad habits. This is going to be a good one just to represent that balance of discipline and protection in our lives. This charm can act as a nice little reminder to maintain boundaries and personal accountability throughout our year. Third one is just to do like a little mini Krampus night celebration. So the traditional one would be to do this on December 5th, but this podcast is airing afterwards, so you could also do it on a chosen Yule night, but you're going to be embracing Krampus' mischievous spirit with some playful activities. We can make a Krampus-inspired cookies or drinks, think like dark chocolate, spicy cinnamon, maybe even goat milk hot cocoa, maybe. But playfully punish bad habits by sharing lighthearted reflections on the year with our loved ones. And then we can watch, Krampus-themed movies or tell spooky winter tales around the fire. I think we can dress up like Krampus and add Krampus-themed decorations to to our Yule setup for a fun little side thing with this one. This honors the playful and mischievous side of Krampus, bringing that element of joy and a sense of humor to the season. And last, I think we could just do like a little bit of meditative work with the Krampus energy. If you're more spiritually inclined, meditate or journey with Krampus as an archetype of discipline and shadow work. Ask things like, what parts of myself need acknowledgement and release? Or maybe ask, how can I balance the wild and the orderly aspects of my life? Those would be two great journal prompts. For Witches' Yule is one of the 8 sabbats on the Wheel of the Year, and it is a time of quiet reflection, gratitude, and intention setting for the year ahead. Just as the sun is reborn, we too can embrace the opportunity for personal renewal. Now, in my own Yule rituals, I light candles to honor the sun's return. I meditate on what I wish to release, as the old year fades away. And I create offerings of gratitude to the spirits of the earth, thanking them for their support and their guidance. And of course, I celebrate with my loved ones, sharing food and warmth and laughter in the spirit of abundance and joy. So today we can celebrate Yule, I think, in a variety of ways, blending ancient traditions with some more contemporary practices to create a really meaningful ritual that honors the winter solstice. Yule is a time of reflection, renewal, and celebration, and how it's observed is often going to depend on just your own individual spiritual path, right? Your cultural background and your personal preferences. So I did pull some ways that we can celebrate Yule, and one of these might just be perfect for your own personal practice. All right, the first one, just first and foremost, is definitely going to be honoring the return of the sun. The core theme of Yule is the rebirth of the sun, symbolizing, our hope, renewal, and the light returning to the world after the longest night. So 3 things we can do here are going to be like a sunrise ritual, lighting candles, and then fireplace or fire pit magic. So some of us do rise early. And if you are an early riser like me, one thing you could do is turn that into a little bit of a sunrise ritual for Yule. And this is going to be just, rise early to greet the sun on the morning after the solstice. Meditating or, performing some simple rituals just to welcome its return. Another thing we can do is, light candles. I, of course, do this practice all year long, but lighting candles or a Yule log in honor of the sun's rebirth is a really common practice right now. Each candle can represent a specific intention, such as, hope, warmth, or joy. And then fireplace magic. If you have a fireplace or if you have a fire pit, burning a symbolic Yule log, perhaps decorating it first with herbs and carvings, which is what I usually do, it's going to be a wonderful way to traditionally honor the light. Second is just decorating with nature. I think more modern witches are going to bring in natural elements, to their homes to honor the earth cycles and connect with this season's energies. This is going to be our evergreens, wreaths and garlands, and then, crystals and symbols. With our evergreens, I believe decorating with pine, fir, or holly really honors the resilience and life in the depths of winter. A modern Yule tree, often adorned with, our lights and our ornaments, really can serve as a centerpiece for this. With our wreaths and garlands, many of us are going to craft our own wreaths, right from herbs, dried flowers, and even some of those evergreens, just to symbolize the eternal cycle of life, of death, and rebirth. And with our crystals and symbols, if we can grab things like citrine, if you guys have sunstone, a garnet for sure, these are going to be great to represent the sun's energy. While like our snowflakes, stars, and solar symbols can help adorn our altars and our sacred spaces during Yule. Let's see what else. Creating a Yule altar. Love it. This is going to be a magical space where we can honor the solstice energies. Grab things that are going to be like symbols of the season. The altar might include representations of the sun, evergreens, holly, pine cones are good right now, and then candles. I think food offerings, a drink, herbal offerings are going to be great for spirits, our ancestors, or deities associated with the season. And then throw some personal touches on a Yule altar. Seasonal tarot cards would be fun. Photos of loved ones are going to be great right now, just to emphasize gratitude and connection. But altars are super fun and easy way just to grab, magical stuff of the solstice and the season. Let's see, during Yule, we can also work on our magic for renewal and our spell work. I think the Yule's energy is a perfect time for our spells focused on new beginnings, personal growth, and of course, manifesting hope for the year ahead. We can write down our goals or our wishes for the coming year and burn them with the Yule log to, kind of like symbolically send them into the universe. This is also a great time for letting go of what no longer serves. So a fire or a cauldron can be used to safely burn written intentions and just release that old energy. It's also a good time for protection and prosperity. Any type of spell that's gonna, use our seasonal herbs like cinnamon, pine, and cedar is gonna be perfect to do right now. Feasting and celebration, obviously, right? We love this portion of Yule when we get to gather with our loved ones to share food and warmth and gratitude and feast on things that are going to include our roasted vegetables and our mulled wine, baked goods, and spiced cider. All of this is going to reflect on like the abundance of the season. We cook a lot right now. I cook a lot right now. So preparing food with intention, such as, baking maybe sun-shaped cookies or simmering spiced cider for warmth. Oh my gosh, those amazing pots for, just filling your home with the smells of the season. Love them. The simmer pots are amazing. But it definitely adds a layer of magic to our celebration. And then sharing stories, right? Sharing myths such as the rebirth of the sun god or tales from different cultures around the world. They all have ones that are tied to solstice. Keep the oral traditions alive. We can also work with deities and spirits. I think Yule is an excellent time to honor this type of work associated with the solstice and the return of the light. So we definitely have solar deities. I think many of us are going to honor gods and goddesses linked to the sun, such as Apollo, Sol, or Brigid. Ancestry work is good right now. These long nights make powerful opportunities for us to connect with our ancestors and, leave offerings or meditating on their guidance. And then also spirits, nature spirits. I think evergreens, hollies, mistletoe, they are often associated with spirits of nature, and some of us are going to leave offerings of food or even cider outdoors in their honor. You guys know I love my dream work, so I think it's also a great time. Yule is a good time for dream work and divination. It's quiet energy that we can draw from off of the solstice that provides a perfect opportunity for introspection and magical insights. Before bed, we can anoint ourselves with the flying ointments I talked about last week, or, sip teas made of mugwort and chamomile to encourage our insightful dreams. Tarot readings are fun right now. Rune casting is amazing right now, or just, scrying, whatever medium that takes for you. These are popular practices used during Yule for gaining guidance about the upcoming year. Yule is a great time for community gatherings as well as solitary reflection. For those of you who are a part of covens or big communities, you may gather for group rituals, feasts, or celebrations of the solstice together. For those practicing alone, Yule can be a deeply personal time for quiet reflection, some journaling, and just connecting with the inner self. Let's see, I also think Yule is a great time for those little acts of kindness and gratitude. It's a good time to give back and spread the warmth and kindness of the season. Many of us are going to incorporate acts of, just general kindness, like donating to those in need or supporting environmental causes. Or maybe it's going to be reflecting on the blessings of the year and just expressing gratitude through journaling or offerings, some way to meaningfully honor the season. And then also I've got, blending Yule with our modern holidays. Many witches also celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or, other winter holidays, blending their Yule practices with their family traditions. This can create a harmonious balance of honoring both spiritual and cultural connections. I personally have always celebrated Christmas, not in the religious sense though, but I do think there are many of us that do this or have done it in the past. Witches who celebrate Christmas without, its religious aspects can focus on themes of community and love and, gratitude, all that align with the season's universal energy. You might decorate your home with symbols of nature, such as, those evergreen garlands, pine cones, and candles, celebrating the enduring resilience of life in winter. Gift giving here, it becomes an act of intention and thoughtfulness, reflecting our care for our loved ones. And sharing a festive meal with family and friends can be a ritual of abundance and connection that offers, thanks for the year's blessings. And we can also weave personal magic into our celebrations by crafting ornaments charged with protection or prosperity, by creating a Yule log centerpiece, or by lighting candles to symbolize the return of the sun and the growing of light. By honoring these broader themes, Christmas becomes a celebration of joy, generosity, and, the turning of the seasons, which can beautifully blend the magical celebration of Yule with it. All right, what about Yule in the office? So I think for those practicing, our modern witchcraft, celebrating Yule, which is rooted in ancient traditions of honoring the winter solstice and the cycles of nature, it can definitely feel challenging in our corporate world. Christmas? No, not challenging at all. Easy peasy. But if you are really looking for the Yule specific side of things, well, that may be a little bit more challenging. Offices and professional environments often prioritize more, the more mainstream holiday traditions, leaving little space for personalized or spiritual observations. So, however, we have long been resourceful in adapting our practices, right? So blending Yule into the workplace is going to be no exception. I think by aligning the themes of Yule with values like renewal, light, community, and gratitude, we can infuse our corporate spaces with subtle magic and meaningful practices that enrich both our professional and spiritual lives. Okay, first one, embracing the themes of renewal and growth. At its core, Yule is going to celebrate the rebirth of the sun, symbolizing the new beginnings and the return of light after the longest night. I've said this multiple times already, but this theme aligns beautifully with the professional world, especially as the year draws to a close. So Yule's energy of renewal, I think, can inspire year-end reflections and goal setting. We can approach workplace goals as a form of manifestation, writing our intentions for personal and team growth for the year ahead. Consider creating like a wish jar, like in the office, somewhere where your colleagues and you can write your hopes for the next year, blending subtle magic with workplace positivity. Recognizing achievements within a team really does align with Yule's gratitude and like abundance themes. Acknowledge how the light of teamwork has carried the group through challenges, much like the sun returns after the dark. Let's see, second one I've got is infusing our corporate spaces with nature and light. Yule is a celebration of nature's resilience, right? And the enduring cycle of life. So we can bring these energies into the workplace with simple, seasonally appropriate touches. Sprigs of pine, holly, or mistletoe can definitely be added to office decor, symbolizing endurance and vitality. A small evergreen wreath or a plant on a desk quietly honors Yule without clashing with corporate norms. Fairy lights, candles, or those little electric tea lights, if flames aren't allowed in your office, they can symbolize the returning of the sun. Lighting them intentionally with small little moment of gratitude or reflection brings a touch of witchy mindfulness into a busy workday. And then crystals, I mentioned citrine earlier, sunstone for sure, but even clear quartz, they can be placed on our desks to invite warmth and clarity and honor the abundance. Even coworkers who aren't witches might appreciate the beauty and positivity of these additions. Third, I've got Yule-inspired corporate activities, and these can be super fun. Yule's emphasis on community and connection provides lots of opportunities to create workplace activities that foster collaboration and that sense of belonging. So we can encourage our coworkers to share what they're grateful for this year, whether it's through a gratitude board or maybe like a little short sharing session during a team meeting. This practice reflects Yule's themes of reflection and abundance. We can approach the office, gift exchange, like if you guys have a secret Santa, it can be an opportunity for magical intention setting. Gifts chosen with care can carry energies of positivity, inspiration, or protection for the recipient. And then just, overall community service, I think, suggest organizing maybe like a charitable initiative, such as donating to local food banks or shelters, some type of act of giving that aligns with Yule's spirit of abundance and something that's going to echo our theme of caring for the community. We've also got little subtle magical practices. I think we often work quietly, right? Weaving magic into our surroundings in ways that don't disrupt or draw unnecessary attention. A small Yule desk altar would be a good example, right? So at your workplace, this can be something as simple as a festive candle, a pine cone, or maybe a crystal, right? It's something that's going to serve as grounding touchstones throughout the day. You can create a little discreet charm bag with herbs like our cinnamon for prosperity, rosemary for clarity, and then keep them in your desk or your pocket. We can step outside during our lunch breaks, right? Connect with nature, even in a small way, just to honor the solstice. Stand under the open sky, breathe in the crisp air, the crisp winter air, and reflect on the cycle of the year that you are wrapping up. We can also blend Yule with broader holiday traditions. I think most all workplaces celebrate mainstream holidays, right? Like Christmas. So we can find common ground by blending Yule traditions into these events. We can suggest incorporating the solstice into the office calendar as a little nod to nature's cycles, which are inclusive and resonate across many cultures. We can bring in treats that align with the season, like those little sun-shaped cookies that I mentioned, or bring in spiced cider, bring in some dried fruit. These foods are going to honor the abundance of Yule while still contributing to the festive general atmosphere. You could also suggest a holiday potluck where everyone brings in a dish that represents their cultural or spiritual traditions, including Yule. This can foster inclusivity and a deeper appreciation of diverse practices. So blending Yule into the corporate world, it's about aligning the season's themes of renewal, light, and community with rhythms of our professional life. And by incorporating subtle rituals, nature-inspired decor, and practices that foster connection and gratitude, I think we can honor our spirituality while enriching our workplace environment. This year, we can have Yule be that reminder that magic is not confined to our altars at home. It can shine brightly in boardrooms, little cubicles, wherever you are working and your job is. Through intention and creativity, we can bring the light of Yule into even the most corporate corners of our lives, spreading warmth and magic and joy to all. All right, now for me personally this year in my home, I started a tradition a couple years ago in keeping a part of the Yule fire coal from one year to start the next year's Yule fire. This has quickly become something cherished and deeply personal in my home. And while it's a newer tradition for me and the boys, the act itself has been kept alive for many, many years. Now, for my family, the act of taking a piece of last year to start this year, it's symbolic. It really is a symbolic act representing the continuing of light and life through the darkest of times. A reminder that the warmth and energy that carried us through the previous cycle is here again. And as the new fire ignites, fueled by the embers of the past, it becomes like a living link between the years for us, honoring the lessons and the joys and the challenges that have shaped our journey. The ritual embodies the promise of renewal. It is about the deep bonds we have as a family, and the act of taking last year's Yule coal and starting this year's fire on the 21st, well, it creates a sacred space of reflection and hope for the year ahead. And that is a gift that I will always honor giving my family. Now, if this is something you want to do at your home to, start the tradition, I can quickly review the history of it. While specific documentation of this exact practice is a little sparse, it aligns closely with ancient pagan customs surrounding fire and continuing, energy, particularly in Northern Europe. So, in many ancient cultures, fire symbolized life, protection, and connection to the divine. The hearth fire was central to households and communities, with rituals around keeping it burning or rekindling it during significant festivals. So during Yule, the longest night of the year, fire represented the return of the sun and the promise of brighter days ahead. So a related custom involves the burning of the actual Yule log, where a piece of the log was often saved to start next year's fire. This practice is thought to date back to pre-Christian Europe, particularly in the Norse and Celtic traditions. So the saved piece of the log was believed to carry blessings and protection and good fortune into the new year. And the idea of preserving, fire or ashes from a ritual or any sacred event really is ancient in itself. In some pagan and later folk traditions, this practice represented, a connection to our ancestors, to the cyclical nature of time, and to the enduring spirit of the community. Now, while specific practice of, saving Yule fire coal might not be directly documented, it seems to be a modern interpretation or adaptation of these, older traditions. It does retain the symbolic essence of continuing something, of renewal and reverence for the cyclical nature of life that is deeply, deeply rooted in Yule celebrations. So for me, for this year, we have our 2023 piece of Yule coal, which was started from the 2022 Yule fire. This is our third year with this specific tradition, and I can tell you, we have enough mead to drink while we're having our Yule celebration. Oh my gosh, we have enough on hand for the entire Valhalla court to drink, but that is enough. But that is another celebration for us that we incorporate into Yule and our fire celebration, and we do it again on Christmas Eve. What is extra special this year is that the boys are building a huge fire pit for me at the new location, and that is where we will be holding our 2024 Yule celebration on Saturday. Okay, before I wrap up our amazing Yule 2024 episode, I do want to say that I know this might not be everyone's time of year. I get it. I really, really do. It was just 3 short years ago that I was at my lowest ever, and I was struggling to get through the holidays. So while right now I might be, busting at the seams with energy and excitement, I respect the space that others might be in who aren't. As the wheel of the year turns towards, the darker days of winter, many of us are going to find ourselves facing the holiday season with mixed feelings. While Yule and its associated celebrations are, a time of magic and reflection and renewal, the modern frenzy of the holidays, the shopping, the social obligations, the endless to-do lists, they can leave us feeling depleted and overwhelmed. It's important to remember that even in the busiest seasons, self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So this may not seem very Yule-ish, but I do want to talk about how, as witches, we can navigate holiday stress while honoring our own needs and, maintaining our own connection to the magic of the season. All right, so why do we think the holidays can be overwhelming? I think it's going to be, or potentially can be, an intense mix of spiritual and societal demands. First, we've got the energetic overload, the constant busyness, the social obligations. They can drain our energy, making it really hard to focus on our spiritual practices. There's the pressure to celebrate conventionally, right? Many witches feel out of step with mainstream holidays like Christmas, leading to stress about how to balance personal traditions with family or societal expectations. There's the perfectionism. Oh my gosh, right? The desire to create the perfect celebration. This one speaks to me. This is so important for me. But whether it's a ritual, a gift, a gathering, it can lead to burnout. And then there's just the seasonal challenges, right? We've got the long nights. We've got the cold weather. They can exaggerate feelings of isolation, fatigue, or that seasonal affective disorder, if that happens to you. So acknowledging these challenges is the first step towards reclaiming our sense of peace and balance during the holidays. And I do have some practical, magical, intentional ways to care for ourselves during this demanding season. 1, set boundaries, right? Like a shielding spell. Boundaries are going to be our energetic armor during the holidays. Say no without guilt. It's okay to decline invitations or skip events that feel draining. Saying no is an act of self-preservation, not selfishness. Also, maybe limit obligations. Focus on what truly matters to you. Whether it's a ritual, maybe a family gathering, or maybe it's a quiet night in. Prioritize the activities that align with your energy. And then also just create some type of energetic shield, right? Visualize that protective bubble we've talked about recently, that's all around you, guarding your energy from external stressors. Reinforce this shield with a talisman or a piece of jewelry. During this holiday season, we can also simplify our witchy practices, right? Holiday magic doesn't need to be elaborate to be meaningful. We can have little mini rituals, maybe light a single candle with, intention, hold a crystal to ground yourself when you feel overwhelmed. Even the little small moments of connection can be powerful. We can just have little seasonal gratitude, right? Take a few moments each day just to reflect on what you're grateful for, using a journal or just honestly simply meditating. And then we can have some adaptive rituals just to fit into our energy. If you don't have the energy for a full Yule ritual, simplify it. Place a few evergreen sprigs on your altar. That's it. Done. Right? Meditate quietly on the returning of light. Simple, easy peasy. Another thing we can do is just rest like the earth is resting in winter. Just as nature slows down in this holiday season during Yule, we really are meant to rest and replenish too. We can have some nice sacred sleep, right? Make your bedroom into a restful sanctuary with soft lighting, calming scents, and some comforting textures. Use dream-enhancing herbs like our chamomile or lavender, something to help you unwind. Think about gentle movement, right? Stretch, do yoga, take slow walks in nature to release tension without overexertion. Now, if you guys can do the next one, more power to you. I am not a napper, but I would say if you can, nap, and nap without shame. Like if you feel tired, honor your body's need for taking a restorative nap. Another thing to do if we are feeling overwhelmed with the season's holidays is ground yourself daily. Now, this is a big one. The hustle and the bustle of the holidays really can leave us feeling pretty drained. So grounding practices help us stay rooted. Stand barefoot on the ground or hold a grounding stone like hematite or smoky quartz. Visualize your energy connecting deeply with the earth. Practice deep breathing exercises to calm your mind and center your spirit. A simple, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts can work wonders. And then also think about maybe incorporating earthy, nourishing foods like those root vegetables that are so good right now, or hearty soups and warm teas into your daily meals. Another way we can tackle feeling overwhelmed is just to create a nice, safe, sacred space. Some little corner in your home that you can retreat to. Have a little altar there, decorated with seasonal elements like those pink cones, the holly, some candles. Just let it be a little sacred place to retreat to that's about your peace and your renewal. You can have little quiet moments where you can spend time in your sacred space daily, that little corner of the home, even if it's just for a few minutes. You can meditate there, journal, or just sit and breathe. And then maybe incorporate some cleansing rituals. Use smoke, sound, salt even, something to clear stagnant energy from your space. Another way to help during the season is just to lean into your supportive connections. Community can be a great source of strength, but only if it's nourishing. So find your coven, whether it's a literal coven or maybe just a circle of like-minded friends. Spend time with those who uplift you and understand you. Ask for help. Let others know if you are feeling overwhelmed. Delegate tasks or lean on trusted friends for support. And then if physical gatherings, aren't possible, don't forget the digital connections, right? Connect with others virtually. Online witch communities are out there, and they can provide solidarity and inspiration. I would also say, if you're feeling overwhelmed during Yule and this holiday season, just to, release what no longer serves you. So the waning energy of the year and where the moon will be during Yule is perfect for letting go. Simple release spell, like write down what's weighing you down. Then burn the paper in your fire pit, in your cauldron, in your fireplace, wherever. Visualize the release of that energy. Forgive yourself, right? Let go of perfectionism and self-criticism. You don't need to do everything or be everything to everyone. All right, and don't forget to declutter your space, right? Physically clearing out clutter can feel as refreshing as an energetic cleanse. And then lastly, if you can, just align with the energy of Yule and the season just the best that you can. Tap into the deeper meaning of the season to reclaim your sense of wonder. Focus on the light. Just light a single candle in the evening and meditate on its flame. This simple act can symbolize the growing light and can help you connect with the magic of Yule. Spending time outdoors, observing the stillness of winter and the quiet beauty of our earth right now. And then reflect on the personal growth that you've achieved this year and honor the light within you that shines through every challenge. The holidays, while magical, I know they can be overwhelming for many of us, balancing our spiritual practices with the modern day demands. But I really do think by prioritizing self-care, setting those boundaries, and simplifying our rituals, we can honor the season without depleting our energy. Yule reminds us that even in the darkest times, light returns, and so does our inner strength. So this year, I say let's give ourselves permission to slow down, to rest and embrace the quiet magic of the solstice. By caring for ourselves, we are going to keep our spirits strong, ensuring that our light, our own personal light, shines brightly through the season and into our next calendar year. Okay, I do have to add really quick. You guys know I like my lunar magic. This year for Yule 2024, the moon will be waning, but we have some interesting energy for the end of December. We are going to have two new moons in the calendar month of December. The first one just happened on December 1st, but guess what? There's another one on December 30th, which means we get a dark frickin' moon right at the end of the calendar year. Like, oh my God, you guys, I love it. Now, having two new moons in a single calendar month is a rare event, and it's often referred to as a black moon. This phenomenon provides unique opportunities for setting intentions and new beginnings, aligning with those themes of renewal and reflection that are inherent to, the new moon phase. And not just like our normal themes, right? In our spiritual and magical communities, the term black moon is going to carry a deeper symbolic meaning to us. So first, it represents a time of powerful new beginnings, deep introspection, and hidden potential, as the moon's energy is at its darkest, most concealed. Some witches and pagans are going to view the black moon as an opportune time for shadow work, banishing rituals, or setting long-term intentions. Now, I'm not going to give it away. I won't do a spoiler alert here, but Annika and I are doing some witchy fucking shit on this dark moon, on this black moon. It is going to be amazing, and I'm hoping I can add some of it for you guys to be able to tap into in January. So I'm not going to say what it is, but we have something really, really exciting planned. Anyways, so back to Yule. While it's happening during our waning phase, the end of the month has a dark moon, a black moon. So I'm going to be pulling a bunch of energy for us to work on this in my last episode about shadow work and, wrapping up our calendar 2024 year. Sure, you can tell I'm excited about this. It is such a beautiful way to end our calendar year, and it gives, oh my gosh, you guys, it gives us so much potential to work with. All right, before that episode, though, I do have a great episode next week with my two boys, Taylor and Connor, where we are catering to the working witch and, coming home to relax after a hard day or night at the office. So last week, I talked about our flying ointments, which are amazing and a great way to wind down, but cocktails are too. And we are pulling the energy and the herbs of the waning and dark moon phase of our lunar magic and tapping back into the mixology of our magical cocktails. It is a really fun episode, but let me tell you, it is pulling all of the energy I just mentioned that we'll want to work with as this December month slows down and we get to that black moon energy closing down 2024 for us. Like, you guys, it ties everything together perfectly. All right, well, I did, of course, write a Yule poem since it is my most favorite time of the year. I'm going to go grab that and our moon update for this week, and I will be right back. All right, I do have a new Yule poem that I wrote, and it goes. Beneath the veil of winter's night, when stars adorn the sky with light, the sacred fire begins to glow, a spark of magic, warm and slow. From ancient embers tucked away, a coal from Yule of yesterday. Its whisper breaths of seasons past, and kindles flames that ever last. The wand of air, the kiss of flame, invoke the sun by whispered name. The fire leaps, the shadows dance, a portal to our soul's expanse. With pine and cedar, herbs divine, the smoke ascends, a spell's design. Intentions weave within the blaze to guide the light through darkest days. O spirit fire, born anew, grant strength and hope to see us through. As wheel turns round, the year unfolds, the power of Yule within us holds. Okay, as this episode airs on Wednesday, December 11th, our moon is still waxing. I clearly, obviously excited about the dark moon, the black moon that's coming up at the end of the month, but right now she is still growing. She is actually almost a full moon, which comes up this weekend on Sunday. So it is right now full press forward. It's full energy momentum right now, which again is certainly helping me and all of the energy I need to get things done and ready for Yule and Christmas. So this end stage of the waxing moon, it's a pretty powerful phase for us. It symbolizes growth, expansion, and forward momentum as the moon's light keeps increasing. Right, this phase is all about building energy, about setting intentions and working towards manifestation. We've got this, like we really do. And the moon is supporting us the whole way through this month, like spot on the entire time. So reach for your lunar magic, like do things in your practice to support forward motion, expansion, and action. Right now it is time to harness the moon's growing light to empower our own intentions, manifest our own personal goals, and cultivate positivity in every aspect of our life. As the moon waxes, so too does our ability to create and build the life we envision. Well, you guys, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Yule, oh my gosh, it is so magical. Like it really, really is. And it's a reminder of the cycles that govern our lives. The balance of light and dark, of endings and beginnings, of death and rebirth. As witches, we honor these cycles, knowing that they are the heartbeat of our universe. This Yule, as the longest night gives way to the growing light, I hope we all find renewal and hope within ourselves. That we all get to celebrate the magic of the season, not only in our rituals and in our traditions, but in the simple joys of connection, gratitude, and intention. Yule is not just a time to honor the return of the sun. It is a time to honor the light that lives within all of us. And as you are celebrating Yule this year, please know that you are a part of my celebrations too. You are a part of my gratitude and reason for being thankful. Please accept my deepest gratitude for your loyalty and support. Whether you have been with me from the beginning or you just joined this year or you just joined this week, your presence makes everything I do feel more meaningful and connected. Your listens, your shares, your comments, your words of encouragement have been and are the light in my creative process. Much like the returning sun that Yule celebrates. Every time you tune in, it reminds you that we are building something special together, a community that values magic and growth and authenticity. So I really do want to say thank you for allowing me to be part of your magical journey and honestly for being a part of mine. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week and weekend, and I'll talk with you next week when we make some perfectly magical waning and dark moon cocktails together. Thank you for joining me today at Witchy Work Wishes, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. For more information and additional content, please visit me online at witchyworkwishes.com. If you want to send me a personal note, please email me at info@witchyworkwishes.com. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Witchy Work Wishes.